Stop. I don't know.
Hey!
This guy.
Bro, do you like it? I thought I'd give you a different look today, man.
Bro, you know what? If you wanted to be the Samoan Super Saiyan, then you should have just said it, bro.
Nah, you know what? It's because I don't have headphones. I'm like, let me use the laptop sound today, and let me have my afro out.
All right.
Yeah, bro. Hey, man, welcome back, bro. It's episode 9. Man,
My goodness. We're flying
episode
through.
9.
Yeah, bro.
That's 2 months. 2 months of talking shit.
Hey, and doing it consistently too.
Consistently talking shit, bro.
Well done, us.
At least we
done
us.
us.
Hey, yeah, I guess we're leading up to the end of our season 1. Hey, we had a bit of a chat about that. Bittersweet because it's the end, but it's the beginning. And we'll have a bit of a break, but then we'll come back and bring you more Tapu. Tapu 2. Let's talk about celebs, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about celebs. Did you ever watch Pumping Iron?
Oh my god. We're going straight to... It's like I'm feeling the pump in the gym. I'm feeling the pump at home. I'm always feeling the pump.
That's actually pretty good, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
If someone had told you back in the day that the guy on Pumping Iron was going to become the mayor of bloody California, you'd be like, get out of here, right?
I know, right?
But also...
Was he mayor or was he governor? I can't remember. He was pretty high up there. Governor. It was the governor. Yeah, that was quite a high position, bro. That's a massive position.
It's funny, though, because you look at America and you look at their leaders and you look at Donald Trump. I mean, they're both hard out, like, different... But that thing of influence, right? If you got influence, you can get into a position like that.
Yeah.
But he was the man. I thought he did really well.
The only thing that I actually remember him for when he was governor was the fact that when they were trying to get Tukey Williams released.
Bro, I was about to say, yeah.
That's the only thing I remember. And anyway, Tukey ended up getting off, didn't it?
Yeah. Now that you said that, that's actually the only thing I remember. I was thinking he's the man from his speeches, but when I look at what he did, I don't know if I agreed with that because was it the movie that we saw? The movie about Tukey Williams?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie, but I do remember the movie and I watched it, yeah.
Yeah. Bro, one thing that was hard out funny was when he was talking about describing the pump. Do you remember?
It's like I'm coming. It's like I'm coming in the gym. I'm coming at home. I'm always coming.
For someone who lifts hard out in the gym, do you have that feeling? Do you have that calming feeling when you're doing the pump?
There is no pump. I just feel like I'm getting beaten up by some really big, massive dude. And I can barely walk out of the gym.
What was your favorite Arnie movie?
I would have to go with Commando, simply because it was a movie that I saw before my time and my age. I remember it on VHS. I'd watch it all the time. Alyssa Milano was gorgeous. We're about the same age. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, bro.
She was, bro. Where's she now?
She's quite a strong feminist movement, bro.
They all seem to head down that road, eh?
I know, right? So if you're not, if you're pro-conservative and you're a celeb, you're either cancelled or you're not heard about. So you need to be pushing some sort of woke idea as a celeb before you get heard.
My one was Predator.
Yours was Predator?
Predator.
Okay. Why is that?
It was just intense, bro. It was kind of like, it was like... Because here's the thing, I like horrors, but I don't like horrors that are too scary. So like thrillers are good. Like thrillers are good for me because they're like in the middle of.
I got you.
You know, that type of excitement, but not over the top, bro. And the Predator, the actual Predator with the
Yeah. I liked Predator, But like yourself, I'm terrible when it comes to any sort of like horror. I can't do it because my imagination's too much, and so
Yeah.
it's too much drama. So I'm with you. Probably thrillers somewhere in the middle that doesn't make my mind go overactive, and then I can't sleep at night. Yeah, so those ones. There's a whole bunch of comedies he did. Remember Twins?
Oh yeah, with Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
That was good.
Junior, where he was pregnant.
Bro, it goes back to that thing we were talking about with Momoa. I mean, obviously Momoa is a better actor. No disrespect to.
Does it like that?
No.
My bro just went straight in there. Arnie, you're a bit shit, bro. So Polynesia takes this one for the win. Unlucky Oos.
Bro. No, but I'm trying to say that you get to that level in your career where you've made such a name for yourself, where you just walk into any role. Like there would have been people writing movies going, this guy doesn't even need to audition.
Gotcha. Yeah. They had them in mind, eh? Bro, Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
If we're going back to action hero movies, the thing that made action movie heroes awesome was their training footage. So like on Conan the Barbarian, he's a kid and he's having to do the Conan walk, which is it goes in a circle and it was those massive tree trunks, and I think it's using like a mill, and so but the same when you used to watch Rocky, the thing that made the Rocky films awesome was the training montages. It was like, yeah, I want to be strong like that. I want to be. Those are cool. Or if it was Jean-Claude Van Damme, it was the with training to become like a invincible fighter. So that's what I loved about those things. It's long gone now. We don't have that kind of thing. We don't look up to really, really strong, muscly men. Now we're watching stuff like Twilight, and the main character is anemic and has no muscle whatsoever. The world has changed.
Oh, don't forget about Team Jacob.
Wow. Okay, I was part of Team Jacob because he had warm blood and he was brown, and
he was a wolf.
But he was so weak in comparison to the other guy. To what's his name?
Edward.
Oh, bloody Edward. And
I like Jacob.
Edward had,
but only because my ex at the time was hard out Team Edward.
Was it?
Like hard out
Edward.
So I was like, oh, Team Jacob all day.
It's like, oh, is that what man looks like now? So it's like, oh, okay, over.
That's interesting. Arnold was playing those roles back then, and that's what was. But somewhere along the way, it's changed. I mean, that's probably why a lot of people like The Rock.
Yeah, because he's still playing those roles
subconsciously, without like saying it. Like he still represents that. He's probably that version of Arnold today, and a better actor. Sorry, I'm being biased.
Yeah. Oh, poor Arnie, man.
Which still represents a type of masculinity that still I think needs to be to exist, but a lot of the world within that realm is like it's not dominant anymore, right? Or it's not.
That's true. It's true. So there's more of a variety of what man looks like. Do you know what I mean? So back then it was very still conservative. You know, man was provider. Man went out and did this. I'm man. And now it's more like, okay, we have an equal opportunity lifestyle where both partners go out and earn, and she could probably earn more than you, or and it's okay. Did you watch Game Changers?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Okay, so it was pushing the vegan lifestyle and vegan way of eating, and there was a lot of money put behind it. I think James Cameron, like they had a proper director, like a movie director and stuff, and there was loads of cash thrown at this thing, and it was talking about how scientifically the vegan lifestyle is better for all mankind, and we should get off the meat. And you know, there's some really cool bits and pieces there, and I know that you can't really take it as a scientific thing, because it's a documentary, but there were some really cool points made and whatnot. Anyway, Arnie comes in, and he's apparently a vegan. But in the documentary, one goes, yeah, I'm vegan, and la la la. And he's in the kitchen, he goes, but I eat 1 egg a day. And so like he's got this egg, bro, and he eats the egg with the shell on. Such a cannibal. But you know, he's got his own vegan supplement supply, so it just made sense to kind of promote your vegan stuff, bro? but apparently he'd become a vegan for a bit. We've got vegan fighters, vegan strongmen, vegan all sorts going on.
The man. You would have never thought that, seeing the muscle that he built back in pumping
From
iron,
eating flesh,
that this guy was going to be a vegan.
Yeah, exactly. But
Beast,
he's not even a real vegan because he was eating eggs.
Yeah.
So we can all thank Arnie for our bodybuilding journeys. Nick, I'm sure he inspired you for your roles as Simba. You must have thought, yeah, Arnie.
Hey, he did.
You had me coming on the stage. I was coming at home and coming in the gym.
What's up, docs?
I don't know, bro. What's up? That tells you what's up. What's up, docs?
I found out about some of the
someone having a bath. I love it.
Last year there was the abortion bill. I think you would have sort of come across it. I think we were talking about it.
Yeah, I think it happened around about lockdown.
But there were some things that really alarmed me about the term in which they were going to start to allow abortions. And naturally as a human, as someone who was a baby once, as someone who has also has a child and wants to have more children, I felt like I was allowed my opinion. And so I posted something on Facebook, and obviously you can, picture what would have happened. It wasn't even anything bad. It was I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was along the lines of questioning that notion of how can you allow abortions up to birth? Like, wasn't met well, and I don't like that. We talk a lot about like extremism, and that pissed me off that I couldn't even have a say. There were man feminists jumping on, there were radicals jumping on, there were men trying to speak on behalf of women, saying that I can't even have an opinion on it. That was, for me, that was fucked up. And that's also an assumption. It's also a lot of people assume that the term abortion isn't close to home for even men. Like, you don't assume that it hasn't even been something that, yes, I haven't physically gone through it, but don't even assume in my whole narrative, in my whole life, that whole topic in some way hasn't really affected me, either through a partner that I've gone that I'm with, who has gone through it in her life, and every now and then it comes up, and I'm a major support in her life. I'm taking myself back to a 17-year-old boy who had a child and had a son, and didn't know a lot about life, and thought he did. There was a time when I actually asked the mother of my son's son. I said, I don't want a baby. I don't want the baby. I'm so grateful, bro. I'm so grateful that a law was in place that stopped me from making a decision I was making on the grounds of fear anyway, even though it was her decision to make. But do you know what I mean? It's just, my point is, it's close to home for all of us. Don't silence men with this shit. Like, it affects everybody.
I agree.
It affects our woman first and foremost, hands down. But you cannot deny there's this overwhelming silencing of the man that fucking pisses me off these days,
and
bro.
It should.
I have to be honest about how that hit me, and I couldn't quite talk about why it was so close to home for me, and I went away because I couldn't handle the pressure. I don't like that, and that came to me. That my past came to me, and I went. That's why I'm so passionate about this law. When I look in pictures of my boy, living his life. Now, anyway, what do you think, bro? Let's go.
Just sitting there quietly. Wow. Yeah, bro, that's deep.
No. Because I had my I just wanted to break the ice because I was starting to get emotional about it.
I understand. It's good. I could see. Oh, bro, but that was funny. It's a way to just chop his legs out from underneath it. Love it. It's good. Yeah, I put up some stuff about the abortion bill, and I have friends on social media that are pro-abortion up to birth, and those who are anti-abortion or pro-life, if you want to call it. And I got a bit of a kickback from that as well. But I support people who want to get abortion. And I know that sounds off, but what I don't support is people not exhausting every resource before you have the abortion. For instance, like if you looked at some of the statistics, I think that the most abortions, highest percentage, is from inconvenience. So it's an inconvenience, so let's have an abortion. That's saddening for me, because there's ways that we could avoid having those inconveniences in the first place. And I get people wanting to have sex, and I get people wanting to do it outside of commitment, and yeah, no problem, I get it. But there are lines that we need, or boundaries we need to put in place to protect those people who are getting into those situations. That being said, the idea generally is like the pro-abortion fight is usually for those who say, oh yeah, but what if the woman was raped? What if the child is in such a medical state that they won't have a good life? The rape argument, I think, is either about 1% of all abortions. So it's not even at the top of the line, incest and rape. It's not even at the top of the line. It doesn't mean that it makes it less important, but the argument is pulled from the lowest percentage up to the top, whereas the top percentage is inconvenience. And then not only that, you've got in the States, I always refer back to the States because the States is the most influential country in the world. But back in the States, they've got Planned Parenthood and other organizations, and I think Planned Parenthood has its own version in New Zealand as well. But they actually use the aborted fetuses for scientific use, and they sell parts. And you'll be called a conspiracy theorist, but there's been people who've come out publicly, said it on media and in interviews, that money can be made from these fetuses that have been aborted. So like I said, I am pro for women being able to have an abortion if they want to. I just think that there needs to be exhaustive routes taken before we get there, because it's such a trauma to the lady herself and then the community around her as well. It just makes it tough, because then you can take that medical grey issue or the grey area, and if you find out, because you can get tested before baby's born, that if they've got Down syndrome, and you decide, okay, it's a medical issue, that sucks, because there's a lot of great Down syndrome people out here that are living their life and still getting. Yes, I understand that it's going to be a hard life to work with that person and give to that person, but it's going to be that way when you have children anyway.
It's such a hard one, bro, because as you're talking, like maybe it's something that I've neglected, the fact that the people that have to make those decisions, oh man, we must absolutely break them. But my thing is, like, even before when I'm making a baby, I mean, not the process of making a baby.
Let's not do.
Close your eyes, brother. It just brings to light, just how different we all see things, man.
So imagine if it's pushed so far that you could then choose the gender of your child. Oh, we're having a girl. Oh, we'll kill her because we wanted a boy.
Yeah.
I swear that bill was quite a significant bill, and it was like one of the most liberal bills concerning abortion in the world. Because I think it was taking into account the possibility that you could choose the sex of your child. And then it was...
What, New Zealand's one?
Yeah, and then it was also up to birth. I could be wrong, but I thought that it had something to do with that. That's why there was such a big uproar from around the world.
I thought it was up to birth, but I think I was wrong.
No, well, you could be right. But the other thing that made that really significant is that she dropped that bill right on lockdown. So lockdown happened, right? Everyone's distracted by lockdown. And she pops that one, and you're like, oh, yeah, it just kind of come in on the sidelines. And you're like, that's quite a significant bill, an idea to pass through the people, because we're the people. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of was like a sly one, bro. That was like a king shot from the side.
Anti-A.
Bloody politicians, man.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I'm glad that like you said, I'm glad that as a young man, your fear didn't succeed, and that your beautiful boy was able to come through. There are options, and I just hope that those who are going through these turmoils when it comes to big important decisions like these, that they take enough time to consider all the options, consider the possibility of the life you're bringing into the world, and consider a whole bunch of stuff. And my hope is that those in the community around them have an ability to support correctly and have discussions and hold their hands. It's not just up until the baby's born and then, okay, we let them go. No, these people are going to need support. People are crying out for support. They just, and it's...
Yeah.
Man. Why doesn't it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but why?
It doesn't matter, because if you put a hose up your ass
and blow bubbles. Oh my God, what happened?
Have you had a colon cleanse before?
Oh my God, this guy! I swear, no, I haven't.
I haven't had one. But I've heard about obviously the benefits.
I see where this went, and now I get the joke right at the beginning. Oh my God, jeez.
My partner got one like a couple of years ago.
Are you sure that she wants people to know this? That's hilarious.
Nah, she'll be good with it because she was advocating it hard out.
Oh, is it? Okay.
She went into the science of it, did the research, like it will improve your lifespan, reduce your risk of major disease. Not to mention clean out like a lot of the stuff that stays in there for years.
Yeah, mate.
Like she won't mind me saying, but she was like,
yeah, go on, bro.
Telling me the things that she would see coming out of the tube while they were doing it. Yeah. And like even though we wash and stuff and we can eat clean, there's shit that stays
literally
that breeds sort of the bacteria that can start to feed into disease, bro. And I just wanted to ask if you'd done it.
Nah,
I'm definitely gonna do it one time in my life,
bro. I haven't done it. I haven't done it, and that's an exit only. So that door's closed for public access. Oh no. It's a one-way door, bro. It's like a fire exit. You can go out, but you can't come in. It's even got bouncers there, bro. Got 2 bouncers that says, nah, sorry, bro, you're not coming in with that shirt.
Imagine having that job. Like, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a colonoscopy specialist. I clean people's assholes. Yeah, man.
What was is it classed as therapy or is it therapeutic or what is it?
Well-being.
Okay, yeah,
Ask care.
yeah. Ask. Oh dear. I have heard about it, and there was a thing that went around about 5 years ago, talking about a coffee clean, and so you could get your own home package, and then you could like it comes with a bag, and you do pour coffee in it and all sorts, and you can do it in the bath at home, and you can cleanse yourself out. So
Yeah.
that was being pushed around about 5 years ago. But no, I've never had one. I don't plan on ever going to see anyone unless a
Yeah.
doctor says to me, right, some cleaning out needs to happen there, sir. And then, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel strong. I feel healthy.
Yeah.
I've never...
But that's the thing, bro. That's the thing. Like, and the people that I've talked to, I'm not trying to convince you. Maybe I'm trying to convince myself. Because the
Okay.
people that I will talk to that had it done, they will tell me what would happen to their whole, like, not just to mention an energy lift, but like things that would happen in their skin and their eyesight. We become like desensitized to our own state, right? Like we think we're all good. It, you can refer to this too in many ways, even on a mental health level. Like, yeah, I'm okay, but then you actually get freedom and you realize you weren't okay. You know what I mean? Like with the body as well, you can think you're healthy, but you actually get, if you have access to every sort of cleansing there is, you can sort of realize, hang on, shucks, there was shit inside me.
I love it.
But that's the only reason I brought it up, because I wanted to see if you'd done it, bro, or if you would ever consider it.
No, in all honesty, I'm open to it. I am, like, you know, I joke around, but I'm open to the idea. If there are true medical benefits from it, then maybe I'll give it a go. I just don't really fancy anyone going near my ass
Up the bum.
because
Yeah, yeah,
it's more just someone going near my ass. It's like it's a stink place to be. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
kind of a stink
yeah.
job. So like, I wouldn't want to put that on anyone. I don't like going near my ass. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, there's times where I'm near my own ass and I go, bleh. So just like, I don't want anyone else near there. You know what I mean? it puts me off
Yeah.
thinking about. It's like even nails when the get your nails and your toenails done. I couldn't really get anyone to go near my toenails. Like they're
Yeah.
not the ugliest toenails in the world, but having someone
But
near my
still,
feet, I'm like, man, they're
yeah,
my feet. I walk on them every day. They're not the prettiest things, and just like, and you do that for a job where you manicure your feet and stuff. I'm like, nah, I wouldn't do that to anyone.
yeah. So when they ask me to refer a friend, bro, I won't refer you,
Yeah,
okay?
no, I'm good, bro. Not unless she's really, really pretty. Can you imagine a really, really pretty girl shoving something up your backside and you going to this thing and getting a colonoscopy from this
Oh,
a
nah.
really
I'd
beautiful person,
rebook.
bro?
I'd rebook.
But it's surely it's going to be mostly women that do this.
I wouldn't know, bro.
See, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't know. Like, well, to be fair, bro, blokes do the hardest jobs in the world, and you know, if they crawl shoot through shit in pipes down and underneath the city, then maybe that could still be their job. It seems like one of those ones, like when you go to a spa and you get pampered. It's like an extra version of
Yeah.
that. So for me, it sounds more feminine. I just couldn't get any lady near my ass like that.
Yeah.
Ugh. Poor thing.
That's, yeah, each to their own, mate. Each to their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same as
I think I'd be
dentists,
okay
bro.
with
Some
it.
people don't like mouths are the most dirtiest places ever. They're like as dirty as your ass. So if a dentist can go
Yeah.
near your mouth,
I'll get my BSc, bro. You know what BSc then?
huh?
Back crack and sack.
Okay. Okay, do me a favor then. Okay, since we're on this topic, bro, you're gonna have to give me some details here. So, I've never had a back sack and crack. Okay, because I'm not a hairy person by nature anyway. So, do you have to lie in a really awkward, compromised position, like with holding your legs back over your head while they? What does that look like, bro?
So my ass is pretty hairy. So the best way to wax the ass is
Go, bro.
you get,
Yeah, go on.
The first time I got it done, it was with my ex. My ex wanted me to get it done before our wedding night. I've been married before, and so, bro, I will never forget how painful it was the first time I got it done. But for me, I liked the smoothness. So it was worth for me to try and get used to it, and then I got used to it, and it was okay after a while. It was also better for my hygiene because I was doing that show. I was doing the show like 8 times a week. I was sweat a lot down there, sure. And so having no hair like around the ass and the balls was good. Was good. And my partner now, my fiance now, she loves it, and I'm real hairy because it's been locked down for a while, so I haven't gone back to get a BSC. Yeah. But bro, I searched far and wide, man. And the first time I found a male waxer, I never looked again. Because if you think about it, bro, like it's a profession majority run by women.
Exactly.
And the first time I found a male guy, this was in London.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I not find you when I first started? Almost painless. Yeah. Just knows.
Bro, he knows the anatomy. He knows the feeling.
Knows the anatomy.
Yeah. You know when you're getting your back, well, when you're getting your crack and sack done, right? Are you on all fours? Like, I'm just trying to picture how you get waxed. Like,
no, I'm lying on my back.
Yeah.
For most of it.
In a fetal position.
For the ball. No. Just like, just legs open, sack lifted, to get the bottom of it.
So you have to lift your own sack?
Yeah, I prefer to do it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, carry
on. And then because you just know how. The more taut you pull it,
I got you.
The more
less it hurts,
easier. And the easier they're gonna do it. You hate it when they have to do a double wax.
Yeah.
But if they get it all off in the one strip, sweet.
Holy.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so.
But you bend over when they have to get the ass, bro.
So you have to stand up?
When they have to get...
on
your knees.
You're on your hands and knees on the table?
Yeah. Hands and knees on the table. It's the first time you do it, that it's a compromising position, bro, and you're like, oh, this is a bit weird. But you think of the end goal. You think of the 5 wipe, the 3 wipes that you have to do instead of the 10.
Makes sense. No, that makes sense. But bro, so I prefer.
True, bro.
I prefer having a wash. So I prefer, like, if you had a B-day, I'd love to have a B-day. Never use one, but it's the one where they got the water that squirts, and you can clean your ass like a toilet that squirts. So
definitely,
washing's way better than wiping. But
yeah,
I prefer to wash. Like I think that's the key right there, because you don't get the sticky bits afterwards.
The sticky bits and the dangleberries. Because if you got a hair, it's like no matter how well you wipe, there's remnants of poo on the hair.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed having a smooth ass for that reason, for hygiene as well, bro.
So I can get it, like for your line of work, because you got sweaty. I get it. But what about the normal guy? Like, what's the purpose for a normal guy getting it?
Obviously, gay guys like to do it a lot. Because there's always things going in and out of there.
Yes.
No, let's just be honest.
Okay, no, it makes sense, because
a lot of my gay mates, have the BSc done a lot. But I think I think that sort of self-care is, maybe it was just also the industry that I was in, like, it started to become quite prevalent and normal as well. Like I would hear a lot more guys would do it, just for that reason, and obviously the partner liking it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Thank you for enlightening my Sunday morning with the privilege of back, sack, and crack. Appreciate that. Thank you. It's all about me. It's not about you, or your food, or your back, sack, and crack.
I've been looking at narcissism lately.
Wow.
And it's been something that actually came to my attention a couple of years ago. And before I get into that debate of whether it's something that is for us, it came to my attention, bro, when so I was married in 2013, divorced my ex-wife in 2017. A real crazy chapter in my life. And I got to this point where I wanted to sort of make things right, and I realized, I was a huge reason and part of breakdown. And I wanted to address things.
Sure.
I wanted to address things in my life, bro, before I moved on, because I wanted love, and I knew that I had fucked things up right throughout my life, and there were things that I carried into every single relationship from when I was 14, bro. Yeah. So I had a girlfriend when I was 14, bro. I cheated on her with someone else. I was with that person, fell in love with them in school, thought she was the one and only, cheated on her, went with someone else. I ended up cheating on her, went with someone else. So there was this huge pattern, bro, and no one really was gonna see that, maybe apart from a few close people to me that would have said, "Hey, man, like, have you ever been alone? Do you know who you are?" Even though it was a thought in the back of my head, it wasn't something that was enough for me to address it until I had my divorce and I went through what I went through, and I thought, okay, cool, I'm good. I'm gonna move on, and I'm fine. But I wasn't. So I went to therapy, and I went to therapy because around the time that I divorced, and the last time I saw my ex-wife, she called me a narcissist.
Right.
She said, "You are a narcissist," and I didn't really know what that word was, even though I'd heard a lot of it had been said. I had this sort of inkling that it was about someone who craved attention and craved admiration and put on a certain mask, and I wasn't. I didn't want to accept it. Sure. Because I was like, first of all, I didn't know what it meant. Second of all, we all speak from our pain, and obviously she was hurt, so she was going to say things to me. But I needed to also accept, like, the way she perceived me, because I really, really, really hurt her. So I went to therapy with this, and I among many other things, obviously there's a root cause. Yeah. But I did bring this up in therapy, and I said, look, am I a narcissist? Like, what does that mean? In the past relationship that I had with my wife, and everything that broke down and everything that I did, there are things, and I've done some reading on it. There are things I know that were filling voids. There are ways in which I craved admiration and attention, and this is why I don't necessarily look at the certain part of my journey with what I had achieved in everyone's eyes as positive as everyone else sees it, bro. Because I know what was going on behind the scenes, and I know what void that was filling for me. While I was cheating, while I was lying, while I was being secretive, and also not opening up to my partner at the time about my whole past. Yeah. And there were behaviors that were exhibiting as narcissism. So anyway, bro, long story short, I worked through a lot of things that dealt with the root causes of my pain, and the things that contributed to me putting on a certain mask. And I realized I wasn't a narcissist, even though I had narcissistic traits, which we all can have. Sure. So I actually became really fascinated about this, bro, because I came to a place too where I learned about the spectrum of narcissism, extreme narcissism, covert narcissism, even to the point where I'll sit in the presence of someone and I can see when someone is gaslighting somebody. I can sense when I'm going, fuck, this guy's a fucking narcissist. I can see what he's doing right now. Like, it's very covert, but this is going on. Because let's be honest, I probably was in a position like that a few years earlier where I was doing the same things. My problem with narcissism is there's a common thought, especially through the American lens of it, that I've been learning about, and that is that it's unfixable,
Okay.
and that it's something in somebody that is extremely innate. I believe in that part. I believe underneath it, all it is a deeply hurt person, a deeply hurt person that is unwilling to face what it is, whatever is forcing them to put this mask on and treat people like shit. Let's just say someone is in front of me and I can see this going on. Let's say he's a poly Māori guy, and through the lens of, you know, of an American, they'll go, he's a narcissist. I can see what he's doing right now. That's just narcissism 101. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, man, this guy is a deep wound that's connected to, you know, something within his ainga or his whānau or trauma of some sort.
Yeah.
That he hasn't dealt with. And I'm not condoning it because some people aren't ready to, but I'm interested in always breaking down certain concepts that don't serve us.
Okay.
Or don't serve everybody.
With your journey with that, so you said that you went through quite a few instances of repetitive behavior, I guess self-sabotage, sabotage of your relationships. Yeah. So at what stage did you find healing? Was it after the therapy? In order for you to move forward so that you didn't return to that repetitive behavior?
It was probably a process within about a year of therapy, but I could also honestly say it happened in moments, in light bulb moments. And there were moments that I really struggled with. And I struggled with it because it was the thing that was holding me and binding me the tightest. And it was, so my current partner, I wanted to put a stake in the sand and say, I'm changed now. I'm moving forward. I love this woman with all my heart. But there was something in me, I mean, I'll bring my faith lens into it too now, because I think that also plays a part. And I told you about this too. I had cheated. I had cheated. And I told myself, nah, Nick, you're forgiven. You don't need to tell her this. You love her. You can move forward in your life. And because by this time I had a lot of therapy, and I was realizing I was kidding myself, and I was about to go into a whole another cycle again. And I realized I had two choices. Either I leave, or I do the thing that I've never been able to do, and that is admit what I've done and work through the shit that causes me to do that type of behavior. And because I loved so much, and love was the answer, and to me that's what I wanted, I needed to realize that there was a cost and there was a sacrifice to it. There's always a cost for something, you know, that you want. And the cost was telling her. And I was so afraid that me telling her was going to lose her. But that, whether she left or not, that was my act of love, and I needed to do that.
Great.
And I needed to sacrifice that. So it was that was, for me, bro, that was the light bulb moment, even though it was a whole process. It was the day that I said, babe, I need to talk to you, and I need to tell you something. And it was the day that I told her that I had cheated in the past. Even though I wanted a future with her and I loved her, I hadn't loved her the way that I should have. And that for me, love is letting go. Love is transparency with no secrets. And so from then on, that sort of started the next journey of of it for me, which was, oh shit, okay, cool. There's nothing hidden now. Work for your shit now. It's cool.
Bring it into the light.
Bang, bang, brother.
How did you take her response? Because clearly she stuck around. Clearly she took your approach and what you did as something completely different because she had every opportunity and right to bail on you. But she decided to remain.
It took love to another level because me not telling her was also holding her potential love, was stopping her from loving me even more than I thought that she was. And the way that she responded in love, yes, hurt. Bro, like, I don't even like thinking about the hurt, that moment when you tell someone and that look in their eyes when you tell them. But to answer your question, it gave even more meaning to what love was in her response, bro. Because I realized in hiding that, in that secret, and bro, this is where I'm probably a therapy. I don't believe in. Some people believe what they don't know
Doesn't hurt them.
won't hurt them. That's true. But and everyone's journey is different, right? But you're holding back. You're preventing love from going to transcending to another level by holding any secret. I was like, freak, man! I just learned a huge lesson in love right now.
And were you able to, if she was able to be in a position to forgive you, how long did it take you to forgive yourself?
I feel like it was maybe simultaneous.
That's great.
Yeah, man. But it happened then. Happened then and there.
Synergy.
That I could forgive myself.
Nice. That's great,
bro. And I forgave myself for everything else too.
Because it was the first time that you actually approached the situation and took it head on. Oi, sole. You paid the cost, bro. You paid the piper, and the result was better than you could have ever expected. I've never struggled with, or I guess in a sense been narcissistic, but I was definitely accused of being a psychopath. I would go along to a lot of work training days, and there was this one particular time that I went along to this training day, and it was a 12-week course to do with counselling, and it was full of women, and I was the only bloke. So they passed around these. We had to do like role play and all sorts of stuff. And they passed around these cards, laminated cards, and they had certain things on it. So they gave you a scenario, and they said, right, the card that you got in front of you, how do you respond? So the scenario was you and your best mate have decided you're going to go on holiday. And then your best mate says, oh, I've lost my job. I can't go on holiday. What do I do? And then we were given these cards, and I was the last one to get a card. And my card said, sympathy. So it went around and everyone, yeah, I'll do this. They played their part for the card, and they got around to me and they were like, so they go, oh yeah. So how would you be sympathetic? And I went, I don't know. I don't understand what that means. Well, your friend can't go on the holiday with you now because they've lost their job. And I went, well, go and get another job. That was my answer. And they go, but how do you be sympathetic? I said, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand. They said, she goes, okay, well, here, let me change your card. So she found another card and she just, yeah, do that one. And I looked down and it said empathy. And I went, I don't understand that. What is that? She goes, well, just be empathetic to your mate. They've just lost their job. Well, okay, go and get a job. so that you can pay for your flight. Like, I don't know what you mean. What you want me to do? So we get to the end of the session, and she goes round, and she comes back around to me. She's collected all things, and everybody's standing up, getting ready to leave. And she goes to me. She goes, "There's only two people in this world that don't understand empathy, and one of them is a psychopath. Are you a psychopath?" And she'd been like a therapist for like 30 years, bro. So I was just like, huh? Me? I was like, no, I don't think so. So I went back to work, and at that time I was working in a mainstream school, and there was like 200 staff. It was massive. So I walk into the the staff room, and I bust the door open, and there's like 30 adults in there, and I went, "Hey, I've just been on this course," and the lady said, and the lady like I'm just flying in, bro, and the lady said that I don't understand empathy, and I'm possibly a psychopath, and all the staff, not even with a joke, they went, "Yeah." I was like, "What do you mean, yeah?" They went, "Yeah, you don't get empathy." I was just like, "Hey." So then I walked out of the staff room because now I'm confused. Another situation happened where my wife, so Anna's at the top of the stairs, and she took a fall from the top of the stairs down to the bottom, right? So, I saw her fall. I looked at her. I scanned her. She looked like she wasn't bleeding. So then I tapped her on the shoulder and I went, "You'll be all right." And then I walked off. And she goes, "I need a hug." And I went, "Oh, I can do that." And so I walked back and then I gave her a hug. She goes, "Why don't you have any sympathy?" And I went, "I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What do you want from me? Like, you're not hurt, you're not bleeding. I checked that you were okay. Do you need to go to the hospital?" I can, like, for me it was more logistics. It just didn't. And I think somewhere along the lines for me, my empathy was on, but it just wasn't switched on. So I had to take a long journey of learning what empathy looked like, and how do I apply that in life. And I had to re-find my empathy again. It was always there, just it was hidden because I had to so much self-preservation in my life. I had blocked off what empathy and sympathy was because it meant that I would get hurt if I was sympathetic or if I was empathetic. So I haven't experienced narcissism, but definitely psychopath.
I feel stink for Anna that she fell down the stairs. Even though I'm laughing at your bloody self. I can see. But here's my thing with the bloody therapist, bro. I don't agree with that shit. Like, you've been a therapist for 30 years, and rather than saying to you, "Hey, maybe it's in there somewhere," automatically saying to you, "You're a psychopath." Like, that's very bad practice.
Someone had labeled you that. An American would have labeled you that. And I was labeled a psychopath by this therapist who's been a therapist for 30 years. And that's what made me question. And maybe it was a form of therapy. I just didn't know it, because what it did is it made me question where I was. It made me focus. So it may have had the outcome that she actually wanted for me. By challenging it in that way, so to be fair, in her challenging it in the first place in that manner, it made me search for it. So she probably clearly knew what she was doing. So we would take that and think, "Oh man, I'm offended because she's called me a psychopath." And at the beginning I was. Well, I wasn't offended. I was just like, really? I was at a loss. So when I went back to the school to find out if I was this person who lacked empathy, and everybody agreed who was in there, they just turned around. Everybody just turned around and, "Yeah?" And I went, "What do you mean, yeah?" And they went, "Well, she's right." And I remember I just closed the door and walked out of the staff room. 30 people, bro, said yeah. So clearly I was displaying this kind of stuff, but I didn't really know where it was. And thankfully to her, she challenged it in that way that made me challenge it.
Yeah, no, just hearing you say that makes me grateful too of that label that was put on me that I didn't quite like at the time, because it made me go on that journey. And it actually made me see a lot of things, bro.
Yeah, sometimes we need to hear a hard truth in order for it to instigate a movement.
Yeah. And once again, you have a choice. You have a choice whether you was there something that, because you could have very easily went, "Fuck that." What was it? What was the catalyst? Like, what was it that said to you, "There's something here"? It was the very fact that you cared proved that there was sympathy.
I think because the catalyst was, I realized that how selfish I was.
Yeah.
I realized that, and this was before kids. So I realized that that there were other people around me. Like, I'd spent my whole life trying to protect myself and not get hurt. And I'd put myself into this position where, yeah, I was surviving and I was living, but I was putting other people in terrible situations in the fact that of mistreatment almost in order to look after myself. I don't care. That pretty much was my standard. I don't care. And I used to say, before I used to say, I don't care because of self-preservation, because I didn't want to hurt. I probably did care, and I didn't want to get hurt by by saying that I did. I've now moved into a space in my life in the last 5-6 years where I don't really care about stuff now because I don't really care. It's not because I'm in self-preservation. It's like, no, don't care because that doesn't affect me, my identity or anything like that. Oh, play us a song, Jake. Oh, sing us a song, Beth. Yeah. Can I get a yeah? Yeah. There's quite a few of these songs out here, but this one's got to be the one. Are you ready, bro?
Play us a song. Play us a song, Jake.
Attitude bigger than the sand and place. It's troubling when she's rumbling, so give a wide berth. Can't help but love her, she's the salt of the earth. Now I wasn't expecting a full-fledged passion assault. Yeah, and it's all her fault. When she's around, I can't help myself. Want to hold on tight to her continental shelf. Felt like dancing, so I asked her. Knew I was flirting with a natural disaster. Park my truck on a dusty trail. Shaking like a 7 on the Richter scale. She's laying underneath, but she's a gift from above.
I don't think that is actually Arnie himself. I think it's
the multi-talented.
Yeah.
The multi-talented.
Yeah, that's funny.
No. Thank you, Arnie.
Oh, Arnie, that was the best, mate.
We'll be back.
So, if you've enjoyed what you've heard today, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, why don't you subscribe? If you're not going to subscribe, listen to the Spotify in the links, in the big link out there somewhere. Go and have a look. Now, if you fancy sponsoring us or putting some support in for us financially, we've got a Patreon and we've got PayPal. Just go to link, press button, and then give us sponsorship. Then the Tapu 2 can keep bringing this content to you, my friend. And then we can be like, we are coming on the podcast. We are coming in your house. We are coming in our own house. We can be coming all the time.